focusing on technology and impact. She currently serves as the head of SAP.io Foundry SF that invests in and accelerates early-stage enterprise software startups. She was also named a digital leader by the United Nations Foundation. Please welcome Shuchi to the stage.
Okay, can you hear me? Yes. All right, awesome. Well, a big shout out to Christine. She's a part of our Foundry program, and I'm so glad she is. It's amazing, wonderful things that you're doing and truly inspiring by the platform that you're creating that is empowering a lot of people. So very grateful to have you be a part of our Foundry program. So I have been a part of the Silicon Valley tech ecosystem for about 17 years. And for the most part, I feel I was the only woman in the room. And how many of us so the talk that I prepared today is around inclusion. And diversity and inclusion are kind of talked about on a daily basis in the tech industry. But I feel one does not kind of go well without the other. There's no point having diversity if your workforce or if people or if women or people of color don't feel included or are not the decision makers in the company. There's no point. So yes, so the talk is around inclusion. And how many of us have kind of on several occasions not felt included in our organizations, in our families, where the decisions, so that has been me too. So and I feel my life has kind of been at the intersection of tech and trying to fight injustice that exists in our community. And some of the organizations that you see here are kind of, I felt, at home because each one of them has been kind of trying to find ways to make it better for the community. For instance, when I saw myself as the only woman in like big teams, I was trying to find places where I felt heard and I felt included. And so Women 2.0 kind of came to my rescue, which was one of the largest communities of like-minded female entrepreneurs. And so there was that. I also did some work in the prison reform space. So Anti-Recidivism Coalition. Recidivism basically is what percentage of people go back into prisons within a certain amount of time after they're out. And in California and a lot of other states, the percentage is almost 70 to 80%. And part of the reason is the lack of opportunity. Once they're out, they don't know what they're gonna do with their lives because no one wants to give them housing, no one wants to give them a job. Like, what are you supposed to do with your life? Imagine all the love and security kind of taken out of our lives while growing up. And I worked with a lot of kids between 14 and 18 years old, and they come from broken families. They've never seen love in their lives. And part of the reason they got into doing what led them was because of their life circumstance, so there's a lack of opportunity on a lot of levels for a lot of people. So a lot of things about all these organizations, about the work that they're doing, kind of resonated with me on a human level. And I felt that they were a part of, they were an extension of me, if you will. So when I could not find inclusion at work, I tried to find it elsewhere. And that's a lot of my impact related. I would say that's what led me to working with all these organizations. We're in 2019, and you would think that we should not be talking about these things anymore, but we still are. And I feel part of the reason that it's still such a big topic, more so than ever. The good thing is there's a lot of awareness, and people are willing to take action and bring about change. But there's still, when there are issues that have existed for 100+ years, there's no shortcuts to solving them, right? So part of the reason I feel these things still exist is because as women, as people of color, or as anybody, if you let someone else around you define your self-worth for you, and you're giving your power away to every single person. We never stop and think. It's like, what, from childhood, right? As women, we've been told there should be a certain kind of, we're told what we should do, what we shouldn't do, what is a good career path for us, and so it's like defined by everyone else around us. We never stop and think that, what is it that I want to do? What is how do I be my own storyteller? Versus having everyone else tell my story for me, right? So how often do we do that? Not very often. I didn't do it. I was clueless. For the most part, I feel until I think I was in my maybe late 20s, I'm old, so it was then that slowly it started, and there was life circumstance that led me to it. Like my mom passed from cancer. I lost a bunch of colleagues to gun violence. So those are the things that kind of made me stop and think, what is it that I want out of my life? How do I take my power back from everyone else around myself? And how do I build my own life story, right? So that's when I think that was a transforming moment. So what I'm trying to get at is you have the power to create the life that you want. So take charge, take control of your lives, and just kind of embrace that you're amazing and you're incredible, and you can do anything. So surround yourself with the people who will empower you, provide you with a platform to do that. Also, asking doesn't come easy to us. I can talk for myself, it never did. Now it's getting better, and it's completely changed my perspective, and it's like, oh, all it took was asking. All I had to do was ask, and it was just like provided to me. So ask questions, and ask people if there are things that you want, if there's mentors that you're looking for, if you want your life or your career to go a certain way. Surround yourself with the people who will kind of make that happen for you. I've lived a very non-traditional life. We were talking in the room that if before I found my current job, I had no idea if I were to look for a job, I didn't even know what job I would look for. Because my life has been like all over. I've done a lot of things, interesting things, very grateful for all the opportunities I've had. But if I were to put them down in a resume, it's like, I don't know. I was so scared. And then all of a sudden, I feel like people that were in my life, I'm a big believer that people will show up to take you where you need to be in life. And just magically, some people appeared, and this opportunity opened up, and here I am. So I think one of the things, sorry, I can go on, I think. I should. But so tell your own stories, and and you'd be amazed how everyone else around you accepts you for who you are. And life becomes very easy after that. So some of the big challenges that I have seen, especially being in the venture world, and there absolutely is not as much funding available for kind of certain demographics, if you will, women of color, people of color. So there is, I talk this particularly in regards to my current work, which is SAP.io. I should tell you a little bit about what we do before I get into that. So SAP.io is a platform there's a big company called SAP, which touches 85% of the world's GDP and has a lot of kind of influence, if you will, and a platform for entrepreneurs that can really truly benefit from it. So I run an accelerator program called SAP.io, and we pick startups that align with our overall strategy, and we run programs. We put them through programs, help them integrate with SAP's currently existing products. We also provide curated mentorships, internal and external, and also SAP has close to 400,000 1,000 plus customers. So access to those customers, it's a way for us to help startups go to market with us. And Christine is a part of our current program, which is human capital management focused. And it's a 3-month program. So what we've seen is, yes, so there is not enough access to funding. There's lack of diversity in venture capital. And part of the problem is when there are not enough people that look like me or look like you, then they will not include you in kind of when it comes to dispersing those funds, if you will, that have existed for forever. Again, there are no quick fixes. It will take time. We have to be intentional. We have to be good communicators. We have to communicate, and it has to be a repetitive process, if you will, where we're measuring. It's like running a startup, right? You have a certain goal. Where do you want to go? And then you kind of put a process together, and you include as many people as you can. So we have to do all of that. We have to band together. We have to stand together. We have to support each other as women, as people of color. We have to find allies. Just women supporting women or people of color supporting people of color is not enough. We have to find everybody who is, and there are enough people that will support us along the journey. You just have to find them. Be vocal. Be a part of telling your, back to story. It's like be a part of creating and telling your own story. And make sure you're heard, and find people who will uplift you, who will expand you, who will provide you with the opportunities and help you along the way. There is plenty of us out there. So one of the initiatives I feel with SAP.io, and I'm going to steal one of the quotes from one of our startups, which is like, I right now am at the point where my paycheck has found purpose, if you will. So it's a good place to be in. I can't complain. I'm very grateful. So SAP.io and myself included, and us as a team, I want to tell you that SAP.io is global. We have 7 locations. Majority of our Foundry programs are led by women, so we've made sure we're changing that. We have a No Boundaries initiative where by 2023, our goal is to have invested or accelerated close to 200 startups founded by underrepresented folks. So we've set milestones for ourselves, and we will make sure that we achieve them. We're held accountable every single day for delivering on those milestones. We have a small strategic fund, and we have our zero equity program. So the Foundry programs are zero equity. There is nothing that startups have to kind of pay to be a part of it, but it provides them access, unparalleled access to a lot of things. And yeah, these are just some more stats where, as of now, across our Foundry and Fund programs, close to 40% are female and underrepresented founded companies. So we're very proud, and we want to only increase that number. We're in 7 locations: San Francisco, Paris, Berlin, Tel Aviv, New York, just launched Tokyo, Munich, also a few other locations by the end of the year. So we're hoping 10 or 11 different cities. And all of our startups have access to a global network of people. It's access to customers, to product integrations, technologies, everything that startups need to grow. So this is what I think I might have overcorrected, where I made sure a majority of our mentors are. So this is what our mentors look like to the program. We have a lot of, by design, made sure that we include as many, and it's not a pipeline problem. There are enough amazing women in every single area. And we've made sure that we've created a platform to kind of bring them all together. And it's incredible. I think we're amazing. We bring a lot to the table. We just have to embrace it and own it. And This is one of our, this is one of our startups. Caitlin is one of our founders. I'll quickly finish it. And these are 30% across Fund and Foundries. These are our companies that are led by. These are all of our female founders. Christine is up there. And so I just want to end with, I love this quote, where women make the world beautiful. They protect it and keep it alive. They bring the grace of renewal, the embrace of inclusion, and the courage to give of oneself. So I think we just need to embrace and own our awesomeness and be okay with it. So, all right, thank you. Thank you.